The heat was choking, the stench worse. Blood, sweat, iron and fear. Shields locked, spears bristling forward. You stood shoulder to shoulder with men who hadn't slept in 2 days. Your throat was dry, your legs shook. Then came the sound, drums like thunder, sandals pounding rock, and the cry of 10,000 Persians charging. You couldn't see their faces, just the glint of blades and dust rising like smoke. No glory, no slow-motion heroism, just the crush of bodies, the crack of bone, and the sickening moment you realise you're not ready. At Thermopylae, survival wasn't part of the plan, only holding the line. Let's set foot on the road to Thermopylae, a gateway to a world where legend and valour are forged. Amid the pre-dawn mist, you find yourself on a path that threads between the tumultuous sea and rugged cliffs. This journey is more than a march. It's a transformative experience that blurs the mortal with the immortal. A march that teeters on the edge of eternity. As fear and determination beat a steady rhythm beneath your feet, you feel the chill of destiny on your skin. Surrounding you are a throng of warriors, a gritty mix of hardened Spartans and conscripted farmers, each carrying stories from homes left far behind. Together, you exchange brief, meaningful looks, and as conversation fades into silence, the magnitude of your mission embraces you like the sultry summer air. In this tense silence, the oppressive stench of sulphur from the nearby springs invades your senses. You are forced to breathe deeply of the acrid air that mingles with the salt of the sea and the sweat of hundreds. It acts as an invisible curtain, pulling you into the raw, ugly face of ancient warfare. This smell is not only an assault, but also an equalizer, reminding each soldier, whether king or commoner, that human desperation has a singular scent. It peels back layers of pretense, revealing the primal core beneath, ready to face the Persian tide. Soon the metallic symphony of war preparations envelops you. Shields clank, swords are unsheathed, and spears are checked. It isn't just noise, it's a rhythmic declaration of order in the face of impending chaos. Each clamour is a promise, a contract written in the clang of bronze, that binds the men around you in a shared anticipation that resonates deep in the earth. The tales of Spartan heroism weave through the din, stories that have been whispered from generation to generation. They paint this landscape with hues of sacrifice and camaraderie, transforming the clangor into a tapestry where each man is both artist and subject. Through this orchestrated chaos, the horns of the Persian army rise like a storm on the horizon, a foreboding sound that echoes through the pass. It tests the mettle of even the bravest among you, yet for some, it burns away doubt, leaving only steely determination. As the sound grows, a wave against the rocky bastion of Thermopylae, each soldier grapples with the realization that heroism is minted only in the currency of sacrifice. Amid this looming doom, you find moments of humanity threaded through the chaos. Glances speak volumes and whispered reassurances thread thin roots into fissured hearts, grounding the trembling courage of those around you. Here laughter and determination bloom even in adversity's shadow, offering a fragile but cherished foil to the grim theatre of war. Tales of unity are nurtured by the camaraderie of shared strife. Cradling this unity is the shadow of history, a lineage of warriors who have come before and those who will come after. Legacy guides your every step, a whisper in the shuffle of sandals on the dirt path. It speaks of timeless resolve, of standing not alone but as part of an eternal narrative, where stories are both inherited and written anew. Every warrior knows he carries the weight of history, where each breath may pen its line in the annals of time. Fetching your eyes to the figure ahead, you see King Leonidas. His presence electrifies the air. He is more than a man, he is a living legend. His gaze sweeps his men not as a distant ruler, but as a brother in arms, ready to share in the fate that lies ahead. He leads not with gilded trappings, but with the commitment to fight alongside you, setting the bar for courage and leadership. At this narrow outpost where your journey culminates, time begins to stand still. Here, the line between life and history blurs as you step onto a stage where personal valiance meets the inexorable march of destiny. Every choice, every breath, resonates with the weight of what is to come. A narrative drawn in conflict, courage, and profound sacrifice. As dusk envelops you, painting the sky in hues of fleeting light, you arrive at the brink of eternity. Here, the timeless embrace binds you to the moment, where the call to glory and the echo of mortality meet in a symphony that only warriors know. Each heartbeat, each moment is an incantation, one preparing to inscribe your name in the eternal annals of time, whether remembered or lost to memory. As you stand ready for battle, the path at Thermopylae stretches before you, an unyielding, storied passage into the legends that will outlive your own mortal coils. Under the relentless sun, the phalanx forms, a living testament to unity forged through sweat and iron. Picture it. An unyielding line of soldiers, bronze and leather, standing as one. Each man is a part of this ancient engine of war, every move practiced through rigorous drills. The smell of oil on weapons mixes with the earthy scent of disturbed soil beneath their feet. Here, history breathes through them. The phalanx is more than a formation, it's a promise of survival through togetherness. Muscles tense, hearts pound in sync, and there is a palpable sense of the Spartan ethos, where each man's life is tied to his comrades'. The dust swirls as the sun glints off spear tips, a scene of brutal elegance. This is no mere alignment of shields and spears. It is a symbiosis, a fragile dance of life and death. Close enough to touch, you feel the bond with those beside you, a chain of fate linking each heart. Trust is your lifeline. The soldier who stands next to you is your safeguard, their shield an extension of your own arm. If one man falters, the line wavers, but it cannot break. The phalanx thrives on this unspoken contract, a mutual pledge of sacrifice and protection, each life wrapped into the next under the watchful eyes of the gods. The Greeks understood that this fraternity of arms transformed mere mortals into an indomitable wall of power. Synchronization is survival, each movement orchestrated to perfection. Inaction is unthinkable. Even a moment's hesitation threatens to unravel the wall of defense. Amidst the press of bodies, the weight of armor presses down heavily, transforming men into armored giants. Each piece of metal is vital, not just as protection, but an edge that bolsters psychological fortitude. Yet this same armour is punishing, a constant burden whispering fatigue into aching muscles. Helmets allow only a narrow glimpse of chaos, reducing the world to a brutal focus on survival. This cocoon of bronze is both friend and relentless foe, encapsulating soldiers in a constant reminder of duty and valour. The aspis, a round sanctuary, binds and protects. When raised, it reflects sunlight in a glimmering promise of defiance, an assurance of solidarity. This shield is part of the warrior, a tool of immediate necessity for both defence and offence. In the heart of the phalanx, each shield moves with ancient precision, a dance of organised chaos that reflects rigorous training. Arrows rain down, but beneath the aspis, hope takes root, a bulwark against despair. Echoes of bronze ring out as war cries shatter the tense atmosphere, a sonic wave of communal resolve that slices through fear. Each shout is a vow, an auditory manifestation of unity, quickening the pulse with its ferocity. The sounds blend into the mind's desperation, each note both a rallying cry and a steely assertion of life in defiance of death. This cacophony envelops every soldier, knitting them together in a thunderous resistance to oblivion. Beneath the facade of martial discipline, fear threads like a dark undercurrent through each man's heart. It is an ever-present shadow, pressing closer than the armour itself. Silent and intrusive, fear battles within, a private war observed only by one's inner demons. Yet courage finds nourishment in its shadow, where collective immortality grows, intertwining every pulse with that of your brethren. This shared fear is transmuted into the raw material of bravery, a silent testament to vulnerability harnessed into an enduring legacy. Every soldier faces the whispering lure of retreat, a siren's call to abandon solidarity for self-preservation. In the turmoil of combat, the weight of armour, the claustrophobia of the ranks, temptation gnaws at resolve. Yet this phalanx, this relentless band of brothers, remains a bulwark against such betrayal. To flee is to unravel the fragile tapestry of hope. Deserting is death for all. So they stand firm, not just for themselves, but in honour of the legacy woven into every scar. In this realm, the divine plays an ever-present role. The gods breathe purpose into this assembly, their stories sweeping through ranks, fortifying mortal courage with a celestial stamp. As a part of this ethos, each step carries both the weight of tangible fate and the promise of divine presence, binding mortal flesh to a larger narrative. As warriors step into battle, they embody stories older than stone, their actions lifting them beyond the realm of mere mortals. Within the phalanx, individual desires are subsumed into a greater purpose, the transformation, absolute and consuming. As this primal unity takes hold, personal glory dims in the shadow of collective survival. Here, sacrifice echoes silently through time, a resonant thread connecting the valorous and the fallen into a unified tapestry of memory and myth. As warriors march forward, the veil of immortality beckons, casting a paradoxical light where life's meaning transcends its brevity. This phalanx, an animate testament to resilience, stitches every heartbeat into history's fabric. Hope endures, sustained by the shared weight of legend, powerful enough to illuminate the darkness at Thermopylae's edge. The sun at Thermopylae is a relentless force, searing the battlefield in its August blaze. The Mediterranean summer shows no mercy, transforming the earth into a blistering inferno. Your bronze cuirass, crafted for protection, now feels like a fiery shackle, its metal hungrily absorbing the sun's wrath. Sweat flows in unending streams, mixing with dirt and blood to form a gritty paste, clinging to every pore. In this sweltering cauldron, the heat itself becomes a formidable adversary, testing your resolve as harshly as any foe. Your vision blurs from sweat rolling into your eyes, and your grip on the aspis grows precarious. Yet solace emerges in shared hardship. Glancing at your comrades, you see determination etched deeply into weathered faces, a silent pact shared to endure. Under this blazing sky, every man stands united against both the enemy and this oppressive mantle of heat. The bronze upon you is not just armour, but a weighty testament to duty. Each piece of gear, a negotiation with the stubborn laws of inertia. Your cuirass, greaves and helmet form a suffocating exoskeleton that traps more heat than air, transforming into a tangible burden borne not just in body but spirit. Despite its punishing weight, this metal cocoon signifies your identity as a warrior, protecting against cruel and varied deaths. Yet as battle intensifies and survival becomes ever more doubtful, the armour grows heavier, matching the burden of legacy and expectations that rest heavily upon a Spartan soldier. Your cloak, once a banner of pride and unity, now hangs sodden with the spoils of combat. The rich crimson fabric, dulled by sweat and gore, slaps against your legs, a battle standard rendered heavy and oppressive. Yet it anchors you amidst chaos, a familiar scrap of home worn in this foreign hell. Every stain reveals the combat's brutality, a silent chronicle of endurance and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. If you survive the day, this cloak will bear witness to struggles endured under the harsh sun, transforming from simple cloth into an unyielding shield of memory. Beneath the relentless sun, your bones and muscles rail against the strain of battle. Arms trained to precision now tremble under exhaustion. Pain radiates from every wound, a persistent adversary threatening to undermine your resolve. But where physical strength falters, the mind must rise, reaching into reserves of willpower honed in youth. Tapping into memories and ancestral ideals can sustain you when the body protests, converting every cautious breath and step into acts of defiance against fate. In this claustrophobic press of bodies, space becomes an illusion, long surrendered. Your breath echoes against your neighbours, every movement dictated by the seething mass of men. This close-knit phalanx offers no refuge or retreat, only the shared plight of survival. Yet within this unity lies paradoxical belonging. The solidarity forged in battle becomes a source of strength amid desperate circumstances. Each man surrendered individuality for this interconnected struggle, a reminder that collective endurance is paramount. Thirst becomes yet another torment, a relentless companion as the sun climbs higher. The meagre, brackish water from this morning now feels a distant memory, your throat aching with an unquenchable need. Water is as precious as any weapon here, rationed with care as if each drop were gold. Yet even in thirst's unwavering grip, patience prevails, a testament to the resilience bred from this crucible of hardship. Amid dusty air and parched tongues, the will to endure persists, buoyed by thoughts of what lies beyond barren struggle. In this inferno, the battle within the mind rivals the melee outside. Beyond spear and shield, resilience fortifies against weary temptation. Your mind is a battlefield, pitting survival instincts against creeping despair, reminding you that when the body fails, the mind must not waver. Drawing strength from past triumphs and deep-seated ideals, you resist the allure of hopelessness. Each swing of the sword becomes an assertion of your tenacity, defying the spectre of surrender. Ironically, in the depths of this heat, hypothermia emerges as an unseen foe. As the body's reserves are drained, symptoms of depletion appear: cramps, disorientation, blurred vision, each a threat to combat readiness. Yet within this desperate test, unity provides salvation. As some falter, others bolster, pooling meagre resources and reinforcing ranks. This collective strength underscores that true endurance is forged not just in armour or arms, but in the bonds of brotherhood that withstand heat's silent siege. In the midst of clamour, silence holds profound power. Words are often lost. Instead, communication happens through glances and gestures, a silent language of trust and coordination. This quietude cocoons each warrior, focusing minds on the ultimate goal: survival amid chaos. As exhaustion engulfs, the pervasive silence offers solace, a reminder that even unvoiced determination speaks loudest. As the day wears on, silence becomes your ally, a companion to the intimate bond of warriors, interwoven through struggle. Beyond the immediate inferno lie echoes that will ripple through history. Though heat dominates the memory of today's conflict, its impact will extend beyond the searing sun's span. Amid fire and strife, stories emerge that etch warrior feats into timeless legend. The battlefield, a crucible of valour and sacrifice, casts its shadow forward, ensuring that the tenacity shown here is never forgotten beneath the toll of August's fierce sun. Under the oppressive heat at Thermopylae, a disturbing silence settles. It's a deceptive calm before chaos. Soldiers breathe shallowly, every sense heightened by the anticipation coiling in their chests. This silence feels like the breath held between life and death. In that moment, the cracked earth breathes heat, mingling with sweat and the metallic tang of impending battle. Both armies know this moment when air grows thick with the anticipation of violence, and resolve pairs with a fear no one dares voice. Across the Persian lines, muted commands ripple ominously. The Greeks brace. Suddenly the command rings out. Persian archers unleash their vast volley, blotting out the sun as thousands of arrows fill the air like a plague of dark locusts. The sky is apocalyptic, a conspiracy of heavens against men. Arrows arc gracefully before diving with sinister intent, each one a ruthless emissary of death. The air vibrates with the high-pitched whistle of their flight. They crash into shields, wood splits, and bronze buckles with each resonant thump. Beneath their shields, men crouch instinctively, bodies pressed into the earth, each one a frail fortress against the storm. The arrows pierce flesh with a sickening thud, cries of the fallen merging painfully, with the unending clash. The silent screams of the deceased haunt the air. Around the ground becomes a grotesque tapestry of bodies and broken shafts. They are overwhelming in their deadly efficiency. Each man knows the shield before him is both team and prison, vital to his survival and confession of their precariousness. Even as comrades fall, those spared remain, their ranks an interlocked chain of desperate resilience, grimly bracing against another assault. Shadows deepen as the storm blankets the sky. Soldiers huddle together, a human mass beneath their protective domes, the air thick with the tension between their breaths and cries of the rent sky. Darkness leaches colour from the world, amplifying every heartbeat, every clatter of falling arrows. Under the arrow-specked heavens, their thoughts turn primal. Hope clings fragile among them, counted in the seconds between volleys, cherished even as reality splatters darkly around. The arrow storm relinquishes eventually, leaving a silence punctuated by haunting cries. Fields teeming with life now lie strewn with death, an abattoir beneath the storm's wrath. Men lie twisted in final testimony of their defiance, the echoes of the dying stretching spectral fingers. Amongst the grim remnants, those who rise do so with determination hardening their gaze. They feel every ache in wearied limbs, every bruise beneath battered armour, whispering of narrow escapes, acknowledging in silence the battle's eternal calculus. Hope amidst the fallen rests precariously alongside desperation. Tales of heroics wind through the ranks. Acts of defiance and courage breathe life into weary souls. For the Greeks, such tales embolden in ways that steel cannot, serving as a vital fuel against despair's encroach. But courage has a shadow. Desperation stumbles alongside. Mortality's intimate acquaintance bears down. Each soldier's glance at a comrade or enemy, seeking to decipher fortune or doom. The battle unfolds in chaotic precision, a grim choreography of frenzied survival. Arrows, metal, and bodies become a symphony of shrill chaos and gritty determination. The very earth, a stern teacher and adversary, whispers of stakes and destiny. Uncertainty reigns as soldiers navigate this dance with fate. This battle-scarred waltz is both brutal and beautiful, a testament to resilience even in dire straits. Warriors forge bonds amidst fury, merging strangers into family. Battle births a travesty of kinship, driven by an unwritten understanding of duty's weight. Within their phalanx, shared laughs, meals, and tired prayers weave a lattice stronger than steel. Beneath the storm, this brotherhood solidifies, a bastion against oblivion's spectre, reminding each soldier that their perseverance forms an eternal human connection. In the shadow of arrows, human spirit defies death, enduring against odds incomprehensible. This warrior spirit becomes a creed in fierce denial. Endurance persists as both shield and sword, every rallying command, every furtive grasp of life igniting its spark. Persistence becomes an homage to those fallen. Its resonance spans history's pages as unyielding conviction endures. Survival's primal language against chaos is understood through sinews and nerves, instinct blended with intellect. Soldiers become fluent, responding with reflexes forged by fire's crucible and life's fleeting course. Battle metamorphoses into lessons learned and adversaries bested, life's pulse maintained through shared heritage. Finally, as arrows cease and darkness retreats, a hesitant dawn illuminates the battlefield. Survivors, scarred yet unbroken, stand defiant against bloodied earth, dust rising to herald light's promise. The sun reclaims dominion, valour honoured, bonds renewed amidst echoes of sacrifice. Life resonates as warriors glimpse their paths forward, a covenant to endure, where passion and memory prove greater than this field of woe. You first see them marching in perfect formation, the elite Persian immortals, their ranks a formidable wall of crimson and bronze. Tales of their precision and relentless discipline weren't exaggerations. These soldiers are the epitome of Persian might, and each step forward speaks of an unending tide. For every immortal that falls, there seems to be another ready to take his place, almost as if their numbers never dwindle. As you grip your dory, your spear, it offers both a sense of comfort and a whisper of futility, knowing the battle will test your endurance and skill beyond measure. The scene is chaos incarnate, dust swirling in the air as shields collide, creating a hellish haze that envelops you in a nightmare only the bravest dare face. Sunlight glints off polished armour, piercing the dust like shards of light amidst a backdrop of shadows. The immortals advance with the relentlessness of the sea battering rocky shores, and your heart beats in time with the drumming of their feet on the ground. They strike with a calculated precision, searching for weaknesses in your defences as you desperately parry and thrust, each movement a struggle for survival. The air is alive with the cries of men and the clash of metal, an unending symphony of suffering echoing off the cliffs. As the battle rages on, you thrust your spear into the advancing immortals with all your strength. Yet the moment of impact sends a tremor through your arms, and the dory shatters against a Persian shield, leaving you exposed and unarmed. Panic ripples through you. The spear had been both weapon and lifeline, its destruction pushing you into the tight quarters of hand-to-hand combat. With no time to mourn, your hand finds the Xyphos, your short sword, a weapon requiring ferocity and nimble precision. You plunge back into the melee, the sword an extension of your will, slashing and thrusting in a desperate dance against the tide of enemies. Training and instinct merge in the crucible of close combat. Each movement is an echo of relentless drills under the Spartan sun, reflexes shaped by generations of warriors who expected nothing less than excellence. Yet the battle is not a neatly choreographed dance, but a chaotic mess, a savage symphony with few recognisable notes. Instinct takes over, guiding your actions more swiftly than thought. Decisions are made in fractions of a heartbeat, dictated by an instinctual drive for survival rooted deep within. Faces blur in the din of battle, brief flashes of humanity amidst chaos. You meet the eyes of an immortal, each of you locked in a moment of mutual descent into the unknown. Friends and comrades lie around you, their stories abruptly ended. Each loss is a silent echo. Memories of shared laughter fading into the relentless vortex of war. Yet in this melee, the living faces stand out amidst this inhuman panorama. A fellow Greek you recognise fights beside you, sharing your terror and resolve. The juxtaposition of living flesh and lost souls weighs heavily, filling the air with a bittersweet sense of vitality. The ground beneath your feet is treacherous, a mosaic of mud and blood crafted by the mad design of war. Each step is uncertain, a negotiation with chaos that conspires against your balance. Fallen bodies lie across this grim landscape, reminders of the fine line between survival and death. Treading carefully becomes a brutal dance, your movements synchronized to the battlefield strewn with remnants of life. Within this struggle, battle ceases to be linear, conflict arriving from every direction. Immersion is complete, the bedlam surreal, as every sense is overwhelmed. You fight in a world where boundaries dissolve, danger pressing in from all sides. Here instinct is your guide, decisions made without thought as you pivot and parry in the tumult. The immortals are relentless, advancing like a sea of shadows, their strikes inevitable as waves. In your hand the Xyphos becomes more than a weapon. It is the embodiment of resolve beyond exhaustion, a testament of endurance. It grows heavier as the battle grinds on, each movement a defiant act against the chaos surrounding you. Every slash and thrust fits into an ancient rhythm, a relentless testament to survival. Amidst the onslaught, hope persists, a vital force within you that pushes back the shadows threatening to snuff out resolve. Heavy plumes of sweat bead on your shoulders, a testament to the musical dance of defiance. The battle is relentless, its music the language of survival, reminding you of untold histories whispered by campfires. The sounds of war are a palpable force, the clash of swords and cries of combatants creating a symphony of conflict. It resonates in your bones, a cacophony, as much a weapon as the blades themselves. The quieter notes, gasps of falling comrades, the scrape of armour, contribute to the symphony's weight. The auditory barrage a reminder of mortality that lingers long after the clamour fades. Through the haze, understanding emerges, where sacrifice and survival intertwine, forming a beacon through the chaos. At Thermopylae, countless warriors become part of a woven tapestry, acts of defiance echoing through time. Their names may be forgotten, yet their courage forms a story that binds generations. Survival's not mere endurance, it is a legacy, a testament to humanity's resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. This is where history takes root, not in the grandeur of names inscribed in marble, but deep within untold stories whispered through the corridors of time. In the heart of the battlefield, reality sets in as the dust finally begins to settle. The soldiers, grime-covered and weary, confront the unyielding need for sustenance. The air is thick with the metallic tang of blood, and under this oppressive atmosphere, the warriors gather to consume their sparse provisions. A cold meal of hard grain. Unlike the banquets of old, there is no warmth, no fellowship over food. Instead, it is a raw necessity, a grim ritual performed by men whose nerves are taut with tension. The coarse grains scratch down parched throats, providing just enough energy to stave off collapse. Each bite a battle against exhaustion, hunger, and creeping despair. This brief respite fosters a solemn camaraderie among the ranks. Huddled together, the men chew slowly, savouring not the taste, but the temporary pause in violence it affords. Here, in this shared act, they acknowledge their collective fragility, united not only by the iron they wield, but by the unspoken bond of mortality. Their cold meal offers no comfort, yet in this harsh setting, it anchors them to life amidst death, a stark contrast highlighting their struggle for survival. Water too becomes an essential, yet dangerous requirement. They drink from springs tainted with the memories of slaughter, every gulp a tentative hold against dehydration, but marked by the unmistakable bitter taste of death. Rendered unable by circumstance and urgency, they cannot purify their water. Their hands are ever ready on their weapons. In this desperate state, water becomes a connection to both life and the horrors surrounding them, a reminder of the insidious bond between survival and the battlefield's gruesome legacy. Surrounded by fallen comrades, the soldiers confront their own mortality as they drink, drawing their lifeblood from a soil enriched by those who have already perished. This grim acknowledgement tightens their resolve. Each draught nudges them closer to fate. Yet thirst is an iron-clad master, and they drink with resignation. In this brutal arena, distinctions between sanctity and sacrifice blur, each sip reinforcing their sworn duty to one another and to the cause. As night edges in, exhaustion grips them like a relentless tide, pulling them into an uneasy slumber amongst the chaos. Some lie down beside the dead, a macabre reminder of their possible fate. The ground, sticky with drying blood, becomes an unwelcome bed, and the air hangs with a deadly stillness unique to battlefields. Yet their bodies, spent beyond bearing, capitulate to the depths of fatigue. For these men, even dreams offer no solace, tainted by violent echoes mingling with fleeting visions of home. Sleep here does not rejuvenate, it merely steals fragments from unending horror. The scant moments of rest are priceless. Warriors snatch at these instances, cocooning themselves in a semblance of repose. In these instances, even the frigid winds feel like a strange comfort. Many find a modicum of peace in their companion's silent presence, aligning themselves with those now silent. This shared respite strengthens their brotherhood, a tacit recognition that they fight, rest, and possibly will die together. As consciousness rises from the depths of sleep, a different rhythm fills the twilight air. Voices murmur with low intensity, a chant of endurance and supplication. Some whisper fervent prayers to gods unknown to this hostile terrain, while others remain silent, lost in introspection or resignation. This collective sound, a polyphonic chorus, wraps around the soldiers like a shared cloak of hope and dread, a cathartic release before the impending storm. With sustenance behind them, the warriors turn their attention to preparation, honing their instruments of war. The dry screech of metal on stone echoes across the encampment as they sharpen their edged weapons. This routine serves a dual purpose: readiness for combat and meditation for the mind, a tangible defiance in the face of inevitable confrontation. Each calculated scrape against the whetstone reinforces a soldier's resolve, sharpening not only steel, but the mental edge essential for survival. The absence of retreat is a mandate here, both geographically and mentally. Standing at Thermopylae means embracing duty uncompromisingly. For these soldiers, the idea of yielding's inconceivable, ingrained through relentless training. Their identity is tied to unyielding lines and steadfast resolve, as breaking means annihilation. Yet this refusal to advance or retreat, paradoxically, offers a sense of freedom. Their unwavering presence transforms the battlefield into sacred ground, a crucible forging indomitable bonds. Even in these dire moments, ancient rituals of strength persist, acts of superstition that both bolster spirits and offer psychological reprieve. Soldiers cling to lucky charms, whisper incantations, drawing a web of hope and resilience. Without irony, these gestures cement their identity, tying them into an unbroken chain of warriors through time. Each act lends strength, a tether to humanity when food and water falter. Ultimately bound by duty and camaraderie, each soldier grapples with the invisible mantle of expectation, an unwavering beacon against fear. This commitment refracts individual will through the prism of shared responsibility, creating purpose. Here and now at Thermopylae, they feel a strange weightlessness, bolstered by fraternity. Their sacrifices rendered upon this unforgiving land stand testament to courage and resolve, immutable in the passage of time. In this place, amidst the roar and silence of war, their story becomes eternal. The battlefield spares no one. By the time you've weathered the first waves of the Persian onslaught, your body is a tapestry of cuts and bruises. Each breath sears a deep gash along your ribs, its pain a haunting reminder of how close death looms. But in this brutal tableau of survival, every aching step is essential. The line must remain unbroken, demanding each soldier's resolute presence, regardless of his agony. It's not just a physical battle, it's a war of endurance, where ignoring the oppressive drumbeat of pain is a testament to your will. The ancient Greek understanding of warfare is clear. The true strength of a warrior is not just in weaponry, but in his capacity to master suffering and transform it into resilience. In this relentless grind, infections stealthily claim wounds as their own. The cut on your side, while not immediately fatal, is a harbinger of sepsis, the uninvited foe that could end you long after the battle cries have faded. Lacking modern medical knowledge, there is no sterile balm, only the grim reliance on hastily concocted remedies and fervent prayers. The battlefield's air, thick with dust and decay, fastens its claws on open flesh. Fever and delirium are not far behind, turning each moment into a precarious dance with mortality. Yet amidst this chaos there is an acceptance of these perilous conditions. Many warriors find solace in knowing that dying here, in the heat of battle, is a far nobler fate than succumbing to wounds away from the fight. This grim resolve steels your nerves against infection's sneer, urging you to fight on alongside your comrades to stem the Persian tide. Amidst this harsh reality, hope is found in the simplest of ancient remedies. Honey, celebrated for its sweet durability, serves another purpose for the Greeks, a rudimentary antiseptic for festering cuts. In the heat of battle, it finds its way into cracks of open wounds, offering soldiers a fleeting defence against decay. The belief in such remedies, as crude as they are, underscores the desperation of the situation. Strange concoctions, pastes of mule teeth and wine, become lifelines, a strange marriage of mysticism and necessity. Each treatment attempts to stall the inevitable, acting as ancient medicine's answer to the soldier's will to survive. In a testament to human adaptability, warriors turn to nature's uncertain bounty, crafting a tapestry of survival woven with hope and ingenuity. Silence becomes your ally. The shared agony of your companions transforms noise into solace. Words fall away, leaving only meaningful glances and silent vows. In the pauses between clashes, where the air hangs thick with the unspoken, lies a collective stoic endurance. This quiet resolve speaks volumes in the spaces between screams and war's cacophony. Silence, the companion felt alongside pain, turns into an act of respect, preserving the fragile rhythm of battle. You learn to draw strength from this wordless communion. In the eerie quiet, you and your fellow soldiers find an unbreakable solidarity that sings louder than any warrior's shout. Within this stillness lies human vulnerability. Stories tell of even the greatest, revered figures shedding tears in their moments of despair. It's a poignant reminder that beneath layers of stoicism, the human spirit occasionally falters. Though silence is revered, its stringent hold cracks under the weight of raw emotion, allowing glimpses of vulnerability to surface. In this brutal theatre, any judgment over such breaks fades. Reality tempers bravado with humility, acknowledging weakness as part of existence. This delicate balance enriches history's narratives, showing that endurance amidst pain is both relentless and profoundly human. Through the bitterness of your surroundings, the thrill of combat kindles a resolve untouched by pain. Every wound challenges this iron will. Yet, amid the throbs and pangs, a fierce focus emerges. This metamorphosis of agony into strength becomes a badge of honour, a defining trait of a true warrior. Even as infected wounds threaten to overshadow hopes of victory, the mind sharpens, finding newfound clarity. Pain transforms into a crucible, shaping discipline and determination. Among the battle's roar, the stoic bond between fighters reaffirms the spirit of survival. It's a defiance honed into an unyielding will, kindled by shared purpose amidst chaos. Valour exacts its due beyond the battlefield. As wounds deepen their grip on flesh and mind, they awaken unseen fears. Persistent pain serves as the backdrop to a longer, quieter conflict, one that draws out courage with every heartbeat. It's a sobering revelation that bravery carries a steep toll, each day a testament to enduring anguish with resolve. The horror of war imprints deeply, with physical scars merely skimming the surface. Whether victorious or vanquished, the morning light reveals the heavy price of valour, a mosaic of mental scars shadowing physical endurance. Yet, amid this nightmare, the spirit of brotherhood offers refuge. In rare moments of respite when violence subsides, the balm of camaraderie outshines any potion. The Greek soldiers' bond strengthens in silence, becoming an anchor in their turbulent world. This kinship offers reassurance, a poignant reminder that in suffering you are not alone. It's not the promise of triumph that consoles, it's the enduring presence of comrades. Simple interactions, shared silences, and mutual understanding weave threads of comfort into the collective struggle of war, turning moments of stillness into healing experiences. Battlefield injuries become uninvited instructors, sculpting wisdom from each scar. You learn from pain, adapting and enduring, piecing together lessons from the visceral education of war. Beneath this unforgiving curriculum, human fragility intertwines with hidden strength. Each laceration, a mark of both vulnerability and resilience, guides your path. Embracing this brutal mentor, soldiers uncover profound truths, a narrative of humility and fortitude emerging from the forge of conflict, giving life to what survival truly means in the depths of war. The flesh tells stories that ink cannot. These silent records, impressions of sacrifice and transformation, transcend history's pages. Despite their absence from written accounts, the marks left by war are potent narratives of perseverance. Each bears a private tale, a testament to the unsung legacy of those who endured Thermopylae's hell. Such marks retain the whispered stories of survival and valour that historians often overlook, echoing through time, reminders of the profound journey of human spirit shaped amid the perpetual chaos of war. In the suffocating darkness of Thermopylae's night, a lone Greek, Ephialtes, sees his chance. He threads his way through the shadowy landscape, the thought of Persian gold gleaming in his mind, more alluring than the ominous reality around him. The salt-laden air seems to murmur the location of the concealed mountain path. Knowledge he possesses, a power weighted with consequence. As dawn hazily lightens the sky, Ephialtes has already decided upon his fateful choice. The betrayal lies dormant, masked by the day-to-day rituals of the camp, yet whispers of unease seep through like mist. Horns echo triumphantly where silence should reign, and within the lines of Greek soldiers, realization dawns cold and creeping. They are encircled, and doom waltzes ever closer. Rumours spread like wildfire among the weary warriors, tongues briskly casting blame. The realization of a traitor in their midst bites deeper than the sharpest blade, and trust is swiftly eroded. Eyes meet, no longer with camaraderie but tinged by suspicion. This revelation is a wound, the poison of disbelief seeping into the collective consciousness. The weight bears down heavily, a sombre reminder of vulnerability and the fickleness of allegiance swayed by earthly temptations. The sun climbs the sky, burning through the fog, casting stark light upon a horror hard to fathom. Advancing Persian forces, shadowy apparitions against the dawn, closing in like a steel trap upon Thermopylae. Then come the horns, an unnatural clarion call resonating through the narrow pass, carving a path through the morning air's tension. Soldiers pause, breath caught mid-inhale, the ominous swell prickling skin. The horn's triumphant timbre hints unmistakably at doom's approach. Panic once seeded, mushrooms unchecked as men glance wildly about. Commanders bark orders, effortful attempts to stoke courage, while despair sows havoc. The truth settles heavily. Strategically outmaneuvered, they are ensnared by the very paths they believe secure. A shiver of fear weaves through the ranks, its crescendo mounting to match the rising cacophony of Persian horns. Despite the chaos, a rallying cry rises, firm and unwavering. It's an audible lifeline, knitting rows of spearmen into a resilient wall. Leonidas and his generals orchestrate this chorus of determination, a brief respite amidst encroaching night. Warriors find unity in purpose. Though the odds grow heavier, resolve tempers every heart. Glances between comrades become silent contracts, each man a vital link in this collective stand, each heartbeat a promise to resist the encroaching tide. Iron hearts gather momentum, fueled by assured knowledge of stakes too dear for retreat, and ground too hollow to yield without a fight. The inexorable approach of Persian shadows is inevitable. The flood of soldiers cresting the hillside, a dark torrent ready to engulf. Dust rises thick, a choking veil tangling air and thought alike, accentuating the struggle at hand. There, within the frame of finite daylight, awaits a battlefield bounded by myth and memory. Trenches become both refuge and trap, teetering on the brink of forgotten glory and the chasm of oblivion. Grappling for purchase on fractured rock, Greek warriors brace for impact, teeth gritted against a relentless tide. They are caught in history's unforgiving grasp, bound to a course dictated by kingly ambitions and the whimsy of fickle gods. And when the clash finally erupts, it is both expected and brutal. Steel on steel, the timeless dance of life and death. Endless waves of clashing spears, a symphony of frenetic choreography in the relentless pursuit of survival. Warriors are pressed closer, step by draining step, grappling with the unyielding press of numbers, each thrust of a spear met with resistance. Amid this ebb and flow of human tides, men become shadows. Warriors give an ephemeral life amid the ceaseless tumult. Each thrust and parry a delicate balance against chaos. Time dilates, its passing a rhythm difficult to grasp, marking an existence alternately fleeting and eternal. Each moment carries the sharp edge of consequence, weighted precariously in this crucible. The betrayal threads through action, urgency pulsing through each hurried decision. The warriors who seize brief opportunities to lunge and strike embody this tenuous struggle. Time etches its passage upon them, relentless, each heartbeat marking history's ever-approaching end. Surrounded, resignation claws its way in, truth inescapable, palpable as the earth beneath weighty feet. The deathly embrace of the past and present entwines, a grim waltz obscuring legend yet to be forged. Yet within their veins ebbs an indomitable will against fate's tightening grip, the kind of spirit that legends are woven from. In those final breaths, they find each wound a mark of defiance, each burst of effort an echo down unwritten halls of time. Perspectives skew toward either grim inevitability or desperate valour, each man seeking shelter within his own thoughts. Images of home come mixed with scenes of impending demise, memories flooding senses, silhouettes heavy in realisation of futures lost and unwritten. Warriors bereft of hope find threads of valour amidst decay, an inviolable strength inherited. As the final act approaches, Greeks brace for the inevitable, a descent into ascendant sacrifice that consecrates their legacy. For warriors like these, encased in history's embrace, there remains a singular clarity. They are bound beneath earth and sky, warriors enshrined by their valour and fidelity. Beyond the advance's crushing finality, they remain immortalised, a resolute, thunderous defiance against the tide. Even in the face of inevitable demise, they stand as testament to unyielding courage, a mantle borne proudly, an edifice erected by shared ghosts and broken dreams upon Thermopylae's sacred soil. At the break of dawn, Thermopylae wore a shroud of crimson hues, a foreboding curtain foreshadowing the day's grim destiny. The warriors, though silent, emitted a palpable energy, each man's resolve hardened by the whispered stories of valour shared throughout the pitch-black hours. It was said the gods themselves paused to watch acts of such bravery. This hour, stark yet wrought with meaning, immortalised their willingness to face an end, unadorned yet epic in its resignation. The sea's distant murmurs faded beneath the echo of determination that crackled like the air before a storm. Comrades exchanged silent vows with glances, each gaze a promise and a farewell. As the soldiers gathered for their ultimate preparations, Their actions were brisk, almost ceremonial. The tightening of greaves, the fervent yet hushed prayers. Fears were cast aside, replaced by a tangible air of inevitability. It was a ballet of discipline, movements driven by habit, and the knowledge that this was Sparta's final expression of defiance. Leonidas stood firm among them, his presence alone a monument of resilience, galvanizing spirits worn thin by battle. Supplies were scant, burdening already lean bodies, but they pressed forward with spirits as unyielding as their looming fate. The battlefield, once serene, erupted into chaos as the sun ascended, illuminating the Persian onslaught. The clang of metal on metal filled the air, a dirge of defiance and desperation, echoing through the narrow pass. Each shield brought forth a deafening resonance, while spears whistled with lethal precision. Amidst this orchestra of war, soldiers became apprentices to survival, adapting swiftly to the symphony of cries and the visceral crunch of bone. Senses flooded with the metallic flavour of fear, yet the urge to retreat vanished, buried beneath waves of relentless adrenaline. In this violent cacophony, the surge of Spartan pride ignited. Amidst the unyielding line, every heart burned with the ancestral echo of the agoge, Sparta's rigorous training. Leonidas roared, his voice a clarion calling all to embrace this fleeting legacy with ardour. Pride swelled, vanquishing fatigue, as each soldier wielded their weapon with the mastery of discipline fueled by raw, surviving conviction. Despite overwhelming odds, the unity of their defiance was unmatched, transcending the mere fight for survival to an unwavering testament against fate. The immortals approached, ghostly in their calm precision, their reputation a spectre that filled the air with dread. To engage them was to confront the very legend itself. Every nerve tingled with anticipation. The tension stretched across every nerve like a drawn bowstring. As the battle commenced, the line between dance and duel blurred, each clash a pulse in the ever-beating heart of history. The chaos was absolute, yet strange camaraderie prevailed, uniting soldier with soldier against the expanse of legendary shadows. Through the bitter trial of endurance, the phalanx endured, an unbreakable wall of resolve and sinew. Each warrior found themselves mirrored in determination alongside their compatriots, their united front as formidable as the looming cliffs above. Mental and physical strength intertwined as they battled, every heart in sync with the rhythm of unspoken legend making, far beyond personal fatigue and agony. The ground beneath churned with mud thickened by blood, each fighter hindering their steps over fallen comrades. It was a grim dance, where each enemy blade tested balance and reflex, and every stumble flirted dangerously with defeat. Yet the men pushed onward, undeterred by humanity's inevitable end. In this wretched theatre, life and death intertwined like smoke and fire, each breath a fleeting element in an eternal song. Smothered among primal chaos, thoughts of retreat vanished, overshadowed by the grim allure of their timeless struggle. As the sun reached its peak, the battlefield bore the weight of approaching finality. But amidst the chilling realization of doom, a serene acceptance painted the faces of the tireless defenders. They knew death's whisper was near, but rather than sorrow, an unparalleled peace enveloped them. A respectful nod to the honour that warmed their blood like a mother's lullaby. The closing clutches of doom met the last enraged stand of men, forged for this singular moment of defiance. Here at last they became legends. Yet within this grand tale of Sparta, many remained unsung. Farmers and fishermen thrust into heroism untold, bearing sacrifice not for glory, but for the enduring weave of history. Their valour stood silent, marked by dusty ruins, yet echoed vivaciously among unyielding stones. These overlooked warriors defined true heroism through bonds stronger than recognition, intertwining their lives with silent testimonies of enduring bravery. As the sun dipped low, the battle receded into history, life's ephemeral stories woven tightly into eternal legend. The legacy of these final hours was drawn, not merely in victory, but in the unyielding clash of human spirit against destiny itself. Each fading glimpse of light captive in their stalwart eyes spoke to a resilient human narrative, etched eternally into dust and blood, leaving echoes that reverberate onward, across the annals of time. Imagine in those final moments, the flood of memories and longings these men might have experienced. The taste of hearth-baked bread, the faces of family left behind, dreams born from the simple joys of life. Each grain of battlefield dust bears whispers of laughter, now silenced, weaving a poignant tapestry over the sweeping quiet. While legend decorates the narrative with glory and resilience, the haunting truth is that these forgotten soldiers breathe humanity into the tale, casting it in a melancholy light. Among this legion of lost souls, the soldiers from Thespiae stand as an unyielding testament to resolve. These men, lacking the renowned martial rigour of the Spartans, stood firm in duty to a collective cause. For them there was no question of retreat. Their cries and the clang of their weapons etched a silent declaration against the unyielding rock. Although their bravery skirts the footnotes of history, this contingent was the unseen sinew that endured, bearing the weight of the Persian onslaught with quiet fortitude. Their sacrifice was void of fanfare. They were strands woven into the fabric of battle, their individual actions a vital part of the whole. To the warriors of Thespiae, the field of Thermopylae was sacred, drenched in their courage. While the annals of history fail to capture their individual tales, their steadfastness resonates across time, reminding us that heroism is often a quiet voice amidst the roar of legend. Behind the illustrious Spartans and Thespians, the Phocians performed a thankless yet crucial role, guarding hidden paths and strengthening the blockade against the Persian advance. Their position was vital, their initial steadfastness undeniable, even as later events shaded their reputation. The Phocians understood the true stakes embroiled in the conflict, operating as vigilant sentinels in a precarious hold against treachery. Their subsequent retreat was an instinct for survival, not cowardice, reflecting the devastating calculus of war that blurs the lines between bravery and necessity. The battle's chaos was a relentless leveller. Death spared no one. Rich, poor, young, or old, all were reduced to equals beneath its grim scythe. In the harrowing heat where humanity mingled in sweat and blood, the shield of status fell away. Each warrior was but a smudge on history's vast canvas, unified by their shared fate. This sombre camaraderie, under the spectre of mortality, underscores our universal fragility, the profound truth that beneath all deeds and titles, we remain irrevocably human. As the battle's fury waned, silence enfolded Thermopylae, a mournful testament to the lives extinguished. In this stillness lies a eulogy sculpted by nature itself, a quiet reverence for those absorbed into obscurity. It is through this profound silence that the echo of their sacrifice continues to speak, etching their stories into the fabric of memory. In this wordless void, they gain their most poignant tribute, rising as a collective sigh against the towering myths. Yet the relentless march of myth compresses these vibrant lives into flattened stories. In the grand telling of Thermopylae, the intricate contours of individual experiences fade beneath the weight of legend. The epic's grandeur eclipses personal narratives, reducing unique and vibrant voices into fragments lost amidst the chorus of heroics. These men lived with laughter and fear, their personal tribulations silently smoothed over by the brush of mythic retelling. Amidst these shadows of memory, Thermopylae reveals its fractured history. Beyond martial strategy, it houses shards of lives disrupted and hope extinguished. Fractured memories, bereaved lovers, and sons snatched from serenity. All wound into a history dominated by grandiosity. In piecing together these remnants, the true heartbeat of history emerges, inviting those who dare to look past grand tales to uncover the humanity often overshadowed. As the legend of Thermopylae astounds and inspires, it remains an incomplete tapestry. Its grand weave skims over integral stories, fragmenting the rich narratives woven into life's broader patterns. History's chorus includes whispers of once vibrant realities, desperate outcries for remembered truths. These tales, though overshadowed, invigorate legend with enthralling depth, reminding us of the complexity beyond heroic frontiers. Amidst these historic shadows, unsung roles played a critical part. Beyond the battlefield were artisans, blacksmiths, supportive kin, the myriad unsung contributors forming the true infrastructure of legend. They lambent the epic, nameless yet essential to the chorus of survival and remembrance. As time flows on, Thermopylae's legacy persists in myth and memory. In its shadows, echoes of unspoken contributions continue to shape our understanding, inviting deeper looks into humanity intertwined with mythic grandeur. These lasting whispers sustain our connection to an ancient drama, perpetuating the tales of those who fought in the crucible of history. To honour these narratives, we invite you to like and subscribe. Let's continue to explore the rich tapestry of history together, keeping these voices alive and vibrant in our understanding of the past.